Welcome, guys, to another episode of Quit Your Bitching podcast. I'm Ian, and with me, as always, is Nick Harrell. How you doing, Nick?
Doing great. Welcome back to another episode.
We start in the place where most of you would assume I would start, which is, what do you think the most expensive liquid in the world is? If you guessed horse semen, you would be correct. Horse semen is the most expensive liquid in the world. Now,
how expensive are we talking here?
What?
How expensive are we talking here?
Well, I'm happy you asked. I have some facts here for you, Nick. A stud thoroughbred racehorse, 100 gallons of semen. First of all, now, this is where we get a little, close the kiddie's ears here for a second. They can get a horse to do his thing once a day. Now, that's what I'm saying. I made the same face, Nick. A gallon of horse semen, a good pure gallon, went for $4.9 million. How is horse semen the most expensive liquid in the world? When I was thinking of liquids, the most expensive, besides there, I assumed there was some tequila that was just worth whatever. Like it had snake venom in it and scorpion venom in it and like the blood of like a Peruvian princess and like all these random things that just made it this rare alcohol. Mm-hmm. But horse semen, I'm going to keep saying that over and over again until you people really understand. Horse semen, the most expensive semen or liquid in the world.
Now, I think the question on everybody's mind is, how do the sellers of this liquid procure the liquid from the horse?
Well, how about y'all get in my wagon and we take a little trail down to Ian's farm and I tell you about how we do this. So there is a device almost like a condom that a man puts on the stallion before he does his business while showing him a woman stallion. Now, here is my question. Do all horses find all horses attractive? Do you bring in the stallion to the barn, to the F shack, if you know what I'm saying? And if he doesn't find the horse attractive, does he still do his thing? These are all things that I need to know about horse breeding. Now, I know most of you didn't think we were going to start in the horse breeding, and that's what I love about this show, is you turn it on and you don't know what I'm going to talk about. You were saying it's either going to be cannibalism, horse semen, or dolphins. You never know. So here's my question, though. You bring in a racehorse stallion, and you got a zebra sitting there. What do you think happens? That's my question. Now, do you think that they care about what breed of horse? Do you think that I'm probably diving way too deep into this, but the point that I'm trying to make is horse semen, the most expensive liquid in the world. Most horse semen from a thoroughbred. Now, I'm not saying you go down to your uncle's farm and he's got this beat up donkey and this donkey's been pulling a plow for years and years and you can get $1 million from this donkey semen. I'm saying a thoroughbred racehorse semen goes for well over $1.5 million.
I feel like, with the women horses, it's a pheromone thing, like the female are in heat, the female horses get into heat, and then the male like senses that. I don't know if it's like a smell or if they're like, he gets a little tingle in his hooves, but I'm sure he's able to sense it somehow, but maybe, some horses are in heat and he can sense it from like the horses that are attractive to him or something, and then others he doesn't. So who knows? Like, maybe it's a picky thoroughbred.
I would assume that the mane has something to do with it. If they have a nice mane, good coat, you know what I mean?
If they've been using
nice
their
tail.
Pantene conditioner.
A nice horse and tail conditioner shine that she's got going on.
Yeah, it can't be too oily and dirty. Yeah, I think that I was just thinking, like, bring him into the stable with all the females. Does he just, like, make the rounds on all of them?
I was assuming it was almost like there was a hierarchy where the best looking horse gets with the best looking horse, and then the uglier horses all gather around the trough and they talk about how, the good looking horses are over there in the good pasture.
Yeah, Chantel is just getting the thoroughbred every time.
And that's what I'm saying. So, they go around and they talk from pasture to pasture on what's going on.
Yeah.
But that's just, I don't own a ranch, so I don't know what horses are into. It made me think of, since it's the most expensive liquid in the world, what would you assume besides horse semen is in the top 3 of most expensive things?
I would have thought, like, alcohol, like... wine from a vineyard that was super respected that burned down, or like what's that? I think it's a whiskey. It's like
Hennessy.
No, Hennessy?
Yeah, you're thinking of the word Hennessy, right?
No.
Oh, okay. Continue.
I did see some like $30,000 bottles of scotch on the internet.
Dude, we're talking in the millions here of liquid.
Dude, I don't even know.
After horse semen, once again, people, horse semen is the number 1 most expensive liquid in the world. Second, cobra venom.
For antidotes? Or to just like, you get high?
I'm assuming it does something. I think it does something with cancer, to be honest with you. But I don't really know that much about cobra venom or snake venom, to be honest with you. So I couldn't.
It's probably because it's so hard to catch the cobra and then extract, and you only get like a tiny bit of venom from the cobra, like unless you just keep it in captivity and like milk the venom over months or some shit. I don't know how that works. Can you imagine being the guy that's tasked with getting the venom out of snakes? Dude, you make one wrong move and that venom's in your blood system, dude.
I would say that you make one wrong move with the guy who takes the semen from the horse. I feel like you're just having just as bad day. You know what I mean?
That's just the difference between like emotional trauma and scarring versus like you have poison in your veins.
The third most expensive liquid in the world is actually scorpion venom. So I don't know if scorpions are easier or harder to get venom out of than snakes. But it's kind of funny because when you think about it, like in the horse community, there's one guy that has like a cryo lab that stores just horse semen. And he's just like, he has this place guarded more than like Fort Knox. Because each little container is worth up to $100,000 from all these different thoroughbreds.
It's like a vault.
It's a vault. It's literally like the mint, dude. But it's in like Kentucky, obviously, because where else in the world would they have this?
God.
And it's guarded with its own police force, like its own, like it is its own guarded fortress sanctuary of just horse semen, and it has up to $526 million worth of horse semen in it.
Dude, I wonder if the liquid is its own security. Like, who's planning a heist on a horse semen vault? You know what I'm saying? What if you spill it?
I think I just found my it.
Yeah, dude, that's your end of a life of crime.
I just roll in with the boys and we're on.
Do you imagine like bragging about your job? You're like, yeah, we just had a major score. Yeah? What did you get? We just took down we just cleaned out this horse semen farm. And the other thieves are like, what?
We just stole $526 million worth of what, John? Of horse semen. What? What are we supposed to do with that? I'm going to go to ranch in my cryo truck, and I'm going to try to sell horse semen.
I just installed an industrial refrigerator in this cargo van to maintain all my horse semen. God.
But dude, honestly, like, that's a lot of money for horse semen.
It is a lot of money.
I'm just going to keep saying that. Like, you would think art theft isn't a big deal. Horse semen.
You know, I was just seeing this online, back to the scorpion venom thing. It says they use it to treat some types of brain tumors in humans. How crazy is that?
No way.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, I had no idea. This sounds super like childish, and I'm sure most people in the world are gonna be like, Ian, everybody knew that. But like, when they first were trying to like solve all of these cancers and like tumors, like, what was making them think venom was like the thing that fixed it? Like, and the people who tried it first, were they just like, hey dude, I got this cobra in the middle of Africa that's killing everyone in the village.
Yeah.
Let's use that to save people's lives.
Yeah, it was just the village shaman that was like, we're gonna take the venom from these deadly spirit animals.
Can you picture like a doctor flying into like a village in Africa and him being like, I have the ass of a baboon, and I have the venom of a king cobra, and I have 4 hairs of a lion, and that will cure your brain tumor.
Yeah.
And him just like, what? Like that's what I picture. And just like he has like a rattle, like how he did, but it has skulls on it.
Yeah, it's just the human version of Rafiki from Lion King.
Yeah, and it's all cartoony, and I'm a cartoon doctor in it.
Yeah. Weird shit, man.
I know one topic that, Nick, you wanted to talk about today that you thought was pretty fascinating is you wanted to talk about, since there's a shortage of toilet paper in the world right now, you wanted to turn towards everyone using bidets.
Yeah, I think it was more of a curiosity because I've never used a bidet, but I'm imagining, one, it's probably nice, and two, for all of us experiencing the toilet paper shortage in this world right now, which seems to be most everyone, it seems like the best alternative is everyone just get a bidet. And, you know, you'll probably cut your toilet paper consumption dramatically. So I guess I was just curious, like, experientially speaking, what is it like? You know, like, is the water pressure super intense that it's like, it like punches your butt? Or is it like a soft backside of a dolphin just jumping out of the water, caressing your buttocks, making sure it's all squeaky clean? Like, is the water freezing cold? Do you just clench every time because you're like, oh, is somebody just dropping ice cubes down my backside? What's it like? Is it warm?
It's warm.
Or is it like only the nice bidets will warm the water?
No, I think all bidets have warm. I mean, I don't go to poor people's bidets, so I don't know.
What would be the poor man's bidet? Just like a squirt bottle?
It would just be a garden hose attached to the toilet.
You just have like a child's squirt gun pistol that you're just sticking after you're
new
done.
Super soaker.
Yeah.
You tape the super soaker. It's really like, you know, water pressure wise, you know those fountains that have an angel and then the angel's pee-pee has the water coming out of it? That's what the kind of water pressure we're talking about here. It's not too intense.
Pretty minimal.
Here's my problem with bidets though. You got to be up on your fiber. You got to make sure that you're eating hearty breakfasts. You got to have solid exiting pellets. You know what I mean? You can't be having it look like Splash Mountain down there every time. because the water only shoots in one direction.
Yeah, what's the direction of the water? It can't be straight up because straight down is the toilet. So is it like
So
at
it's
an
like-
angle?
Yeah, it comes out like a water fountain and sprays your buttocks. But my problem with is if you are somebody who likes to paint the bowl, you know what I mean? You're not satisfied with just you. It can't. You got to make sure you're in the right situation, is what I'm saying.
Positionally.
Don't assume you don't need toilet paper.
You gotta dry it off in there, dude.
Well, that's what I was saying. So there's a Tokyo toilet. It's $8,000, right? We're just talking about wealthy things on this show. It's funny. It's just horse semen and expensive toilets.
In the same category, obviously.
It warms. It dries after you're done. So it's almost like those hand dryers. It goes right after the I can't even say the word.
The bidet.
After the toilet flushes your buttocks, it dries your buttocks.
With air.
Warm air. Warm water, warm air.
And you've used one of these bidets. These Japanese bidets.
I've installed one of these bidets, actually. And as a plumber, so I'll just get deep into it with you people. Before my life of comedy, I was a plumber.
This is true.
And every time I installed a toilet, I used the toilet to make sure the toilet worked.
That's just classic plumber 101. As soon as you're done, you take a dump to make sure it works.
And I'm not going to say who, but I was in a B-list celebrity's house. No, it wasn't Andy Dick. And I sat down after I installed his toilet, and I used it. And there's a little keypad, and I pressed all the buttons. I made sure it all worked, all the functions. I'm pretty sure every time you call a plumber and you have him put in a new toilet or fix your toilet, he uses your toilet. Just assume that.
Do a little wipe down afterwards.
Yeah, well, I never wiped down afterwards, but I just made sure that everything worked. So, yes, people, I did go number 2 in random people's houses, and I was the first one to use their toilets. I'm sorry, okay? The job's hard. I'm tired. I'm doing the best I can. I'm just putting in a toilet, man.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing, being a plumber. The worst thing about being a plumber is working on a toilet when you need to go to the bathroom. That doesn't work.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
You're like so close, but so far.
You're literally working on the thing you can't use, and you're letting running water all around you work.
It's torture.
It's like being in the Amazon where you can't drink that water, but you're next to a waterfall, walking along the river.
Yeah, it's like dirty water that you need.
Exactly.
So, did you enjoy would you say there's a big difference between let's say a $350, I think you were saying earlier, you can get a decent bidet at Costco for $350. How much of a difference did you experience between that bidet and the $8,000 bidet? Quality-wise.
You're in a Lexus and you're in a Bentley. Now, this is the thing about the $8,000 bidet. It's got a little bit of a divot in the seat. So you're comfortable. You want to spend time there. You want to be on the toilet. You want every experience to sit. When you go to a restaurant, they want you to be like, hey, man, this isn't my toilet seat. I don't like sitting here. That's what I think people don't understand is you're just sitting on a normal toilet your whole life. But then you sit on an $8,000 toilet, no toilet's ever going to feel the same. That's just a straight fact.
It's like you just had a really great cup of coffee for the first time and you can never go back to Folgers. You're like, I know what's out there. I can't do it.
Yeah, it's like having It's like becoming best friends with a kid, and then becoming like you leave all your other friends behind, and then that friend finds better friends than you, so he leaves you behind, and then you have to go back to your old friends, and they're asking you like, "Hey, what was it like?" And you're just like, "It was wonderful," because it was everything you weren't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How archaic did it feel like going back to toilet paper? Where you're like, I don't even know what this is anymore.
I've thought about breaking into his home and using his toilet again. I have dreams about his toilet.
Yeah, that's pretty logical.
Well, that's just bidets for you, man.
Yeah.
I was very skeptical, man. I was very skeptical on the thought of water touching my buttocks. But I've been, I've realized that I'm mature now. A lot of things I didn't used to like, I like now.
Vegetables,
You know what I mean?
Romantic comedies, water cleaning my butthole.
These are all things that I grew up not liking, but then once I turned into my late 20s, I realized I need. I also think that the grossest thing in the world is putting my hand physically with a thin piece of paper between that and poop. That's really just not, like, no one really talks about that because I think it's just like a little known fact that we just leave that out of every conversation. But your hand is so close to poop.
Dude, you're playing with proverbial fire, man. Like, you're close to getting burned, dude.
You're close. Like, and then after you wash your hands, you're just like, you have to go on living with the thought of this hand. Like, that's why I envied the people who had a hook for a hand, because if you get your dominant hand as a hook, like a pirate, you could unscrew that hook, and then you could just you could have a metal hand that holds toilet paper.
Yeah. And then you don't have to go around the rest of your day knowing the dirty deeds that your good hand has just done. You know? Even after washing it, just the thought of the places that it's been, you're like, dude, just give me another hand for 2 minutes while I do my business. Swap out that hand.
I would say I'm shocked they haven't come out with some sort of glove.
Yeah.
Where here's my glove idea. This is already patented, people. Don't touch it. You have a glove, you install some paper in the glove, and then it almost just like it shoots out the paper into the trash. So you don't even have to touch it. Or it shoots it into the bowl.
It's like a use and then eject feature.
Like an ejecting the paper out of your hand. Because think about this, people. When you go to a mall and there's thousands, let's say you go to Disneyland, right? How many people are in Disneyland right now? Well, not right now, but at a given day, what? 100,000 people?
I don't know, but thousands at least.
Okay, thousands. Each one of those people wipe with one hand, and they're touching everything. That hand is touching everything. When you hold hands with your significant other, which hand are you holding, people? You holding the wiping hand? Because what if you're holding their wiping hand and they don't wash their hands well enough? I think what we've learned from this whole situation.
That's a rarely addressed question.
No one is talking about it.
Ask your girlfriends. Ask your wives, dude. It's good to know.
Ask your husbands.
Ask your husbands.
Sit there when you guys go on a walk in the park tonight, and he grabs your hand. Say, "Is this your wiping hand?"
Are you gonna do me dirty like that, babe? Do you just have no respect for me? That you would hold my hand
with your wiping hand?
Look, people, it's a simple question. Is that your wiping hand?
You can pack your shit and you can stay at your brother's if you're not going to tell me which fucking hand you wipe with.
She's just like, Daryl, I already have a duffel bag of your shit at the door. You better answer this question right.
I was listening to this D-list celebrities podcast, and he was talking about wiping hands, and he said that my significant other doesn't care. And you know what? He was fucking right, Daryl. So get the fuck out. That's what everyone is gonna. I'm gonna break up more people than cheating people. You think cheating is the ultimate sin? No, no. Holding your significant others with your poop hand.
Yep.
The shows
It gives me goose pimples every time. The worst kind. The worst kind. The frightened kind.
There's gonna be somebody who's gonna turn off this podcast and they're just gonna be like, now that's all I can think about every single time that
you've
my
ruined
significant other grabs my hand.
You've ruined me. Yeah, I think that glove's a good idea, you know? Just treat the toilet paper and all of anything that you use to do your business, treat it like the passenger seat in James Bond's car. You just hit that eject button.
Damn, we're talking about shit a lot.
I know. Let's get off the topic of assholes.
We started with semen, worked our way to assholes.
It's not that far of a distance, you know, just across the Gooch Valley.
The Gooch Valley.
It's a quick hike.
It's wet, it's dry, it's everything you don't want in a person.
There's no shelter.
It's Phoenix.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I was playing some games last night with my family over Zoom, and you know my mom. You know, she's like pretty innocent lady for the most part. Like, she's not naive, but you know, she doesn't swear. She doesn't like watch R movies and shit like that. But one of the prompts for the game was to write funny quips about prompts. And one of the prompts was what would be another term you would use instead of the phrase swamp ass? You know, when you're out there, maybe you live in a humid place, you're running around, maybe you're exercising or you're just walking and your butt gets sweaty. It's a thing, happens to everybody between the cheeks. Mm-hmm. It's called swamp ass. Well, my mom had no idea what that was. So here there's 5 of us on Zoom trying to explain to my poor innocent mother what swamp ass is. So she could write like a funny.
Describe it.
I'm like, I was literally like, all right, I'm going to take the helm on this one, guys. Like, look, Mom, it's when your butt gets really sweaty. Happens to everybody. Sorry, but that's swamp ass. And she was like, oh, shoot, I just didn't know. I just thought you might think that's funny because you know my mom.
That's funny to me, though, because I thought everyone got that.
Yeah. I mean, everyone gets it, but I just don't think she knew that term for it.
Oh, I thought you meant like, sorry, you cut out for a second. So I thought maybe you meant like she was like, oh, I've never even had that or even knew what that was. You know what I mean? And I was like, damn, what's your secret, man? Because let me tell you, dude.
Just a constant supply of Gold Bond powder.
Mine's like the Mississippi River down there on a Thursday in winter, dude.
It's like Florida's swamps. There's literal gators in there, man.
The Miami Dolphins are trying to build a new arena down there. That's how bad it is.
The state is putting sanctions on it to protect it as a wildlife preserve.
I've been getting a state check from Florida every month because I'm getting taxes from people. That's how bad it is.
People are getting lost there because their pontoon boats just crash.
It's a tourist attraction. It's on the map after Disney World. Ian Swamp Ass.
Yeah. I thought that was funny.
Once a month I get a call and I'm on the phone with the governor and he just keeps including me because of how much state I have involved.
the surface area alone.
I have researchers checking on the animals that live there.
Old people just come from their retirement homes in Miami just to do bird watching.
Every old person from the Bronx is trying to move there. They're calling me constantly to see what I have available. Coronavirus has taken a lot of things away from me. Sports, friendships, as in I can't see my friends, the ability to really go outside and love life. But damn it, coronavirus, you canceled my 2020 Nickelback tour. I was juiced for Nickelback this year. They were coming to my favorite venue. They were going to play all the hits this year. I was going to drink with Chad Kroeger. I had everything ready to go, man. Summer was going to be lit. And the fact that they had to cancel that, I'm upset.
You know, at this point, I just figured Nickelback were like demigods, you know? Like they'd be impervious to any sort of earthly human diseases. So I was just praying to God. Look, God, if you're out there, you can cancel everything but this Nickelback tour. That's all I want. I'll stop sinning. I'll stop telling my siblings to shut up. I don't even know, man. I'll do anything.
Nickelback is probably one of the, most well-known bands of all time. Let's just be honest here. It probably goes Beatles, Nickelback, then Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin. I mean, come on now. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Greatest of all time.
The thing I feel like Chad Kroeger is invincible. I feel like all of them are just like they've defeated every STD possible. So like, why would this stop them?
And they did it all in the 90s. I just don't see why they don't sell every album with a complimentary box of tissues, because I cry every time. Every time I hear Photograph played on a sound system.
Every time I see this Photograph, it does nothing but make me laugh. Every time he says that, it just makes me tear up.
I was looking forward to this tour because maybe, just maybe, getting to see them live in these dark times would justify my Nickelback tattoo. If any of my friends want a Nickelback tattoo, I will pay for it. I will pay for whatever they want. I will spring. Even if I only had $300 in my bank account and my kids hadn't eaten yet, it's the tattoo over my kids eating every time. Yeah, if I had a newborn son and Nickelback just put out a new album, I would literally have to look at my baby son and say, "Sorry, no lunch today. I need to spend that $12 on this Nickelback CD."
If my wife was giving birth the same night as a Nickelback concert, she'd have to give birth in the ambulance in the parking lot venue, because that's the only way that we're going to be anywhere close to each other.
Yeah, there's just going to be one day down that child's future where you're like, "Look, son, I know you think you're the shit, but you were born in a porta potty out in the parking lot of a Nickelback concert, because I valued that."
That's why your name's Rockstar.
That's why your nickname is Albano.
Your mom was looking so hot in those bell-bottom jeans, and she was looking just like she was singing along to every Nickelback song, and she was just drenched in Coors, and it was just, the mood was right, son.
She never looked so good in that Rolling Stones crop top.
Just the way that she didn't show up to her shift at Claire's to pierce ears, and she showed up to the Nickelback concert with me, just smelling like beer and just a good time.
She's never been hotter when she stuck it to the man by skipping her Applebee's shift.
I showed up in my Trans Am. I had my cougar skin boots were just looking right that day.
So many leather bracelets on my arm.
My flowing blonde hair just had a musty smell to it. Smelled like freedom, and eagle feathers were just everywhere.
My goatee had been freshly shaven and trimmed.
I think the ultimate look of somebody who listens to Nickelback is burned out college baseball coach. Just the goatee. They got the pit vipers on.
Yep.
Just always talking about how their kids are going to make state. Like, those are the guys that listen to Nickelback. You know what I mean?
When their kids never even make it through T-ball, they're just in their bedroom, door locked, crying to Nickelback, wishing that they had made a more fitting heir.
One thing I wanted to also talk about, Nick, on this podcast today was yesterday was 420, and I'm sure a lot of people were bummed out because this is their holiday. They wait all year for this. So no one can go to Hippie Hill or wherever the rest of those people go. I don't know anywhere else besides Hippie Hill. But our boy Willie, I don't know if you saw this, our boy Willie Nelson, he's still kicking, bro.
I saw that. He's having a weed party virtually. What the heck?
I love the fact that Willie Nelson is on Twitch. That makes me so happy. Like, the rest of the world is just in shambles, but yet Willie Nelson's still here on Twitch right now.
I know. I'm like, how relevant of you.
Do you think Willie Nelson's grandson showed him how to do Twitch? Do you think that's the only way he figured it out?
100%. He was like, son, can you grab the camcorder? I want to film something for the world. Dad, or Grandpa, you can stream it directly to the internet. What?
I thought that laptop was just for rolling my weed.
I thought that was a cutting platter. Okay, the funny part is, so it's like a virtual hangout where everybody smokes, and man, there is it's like some sort of variety show apparently, or I guess people are performing or something. But dude, you have the gamut of guests on this thing. We got Casey Musgraves, country singer, for those of you who don't know, Matthew McConaughey, Jeff Bridges.
I love Matthew McConaughey.
What? Yeah, some actors, Jeff Bridges, Billy Ray Cyrus. We got Toby Keith.
Nice,
I don't even know
who
Tommy Chong is. You have Bill Maher.
Tommy Chong's from Cheech and Chong.
Oh my God, of course.
Yeah.
And then, so you have Bill Maher, the talk show host, and then you have Beto O'Rourke, previous presidential candidate. What the heck? Everyone's just signing up to blaze. You know what else is funny, Ian? Willie was kind enough to leave us some instructions on how to 420.
Oh, perfect.
Let me hit you with this, dude. First, when you post on this, use both hashtags, come and toke it, pass left. So what you're supposed to do is take a hit of whatever type of weed you smoke in, then you know, on the camera you pass it to the left, like you're virtually passing the joint. Like, damn, Willie, the 60s still got you. There's literally instructions on how to point your phone camera at you. It says turn your camera to landscape orientation. Receive your smoking device from your right, you know, because we have just passed left, and take a hit. or don't. How inclusive of you, Willie. You're really thinking about the non-stoners that would obviously join in on this. Pass it on to your left and keep it moving.
I love the idea of Willie on my left, Toby Keith virtually on my right, and I'm just smoking with two of my idols. Dude, virtually.
You know how much money I would pay to get in between Matthew McConaughey and Jeff Bridges, just taking a joint from old McConaughey, passing it on to my grandpa Bridges?
I wonder which Matthew McConaughey he shows up as. I don't think he shows up as the Lincoln character from all the Lincoln commercials. I think he shows up as
I think that's just normal McConaughey.
just classy McConaughey.
Well, he's obviously wearing a suit.
But then again, I think of how high Matthew McConaughey has to be when there's like a buffalo in front of him on the Lincoln commercial and he's just like talking to it.
What the heck?
Dude, virtual Willie, I bet is sick. And the funny thing is, my grandma is like the biggest Willie Nelson fan, obviously, because she's from Texas. So if I just want to get a computer, stick it in front of my grandma and be like, you can virtually smoke with Willie Nelson today, grandma.
Would that convince you to smoke weed, grandma?
You know the number one person I'm surprised isn't on that bill is Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, dude.
Snoop Dogg, I feel like, would be like a number. Like, I'm sure if Willie Nelson calls up Snoop Dogg, he's like, hey, dude, I got a virtual Twitch stream where we all smoke in a circle like that 70s show.
Yeah.
I swear Snoop Dogg must be real busy because that's what I picture.
Yeah, dude. I'm imagining Snoop Dogg giving these instructions. Like, come on, baby. You gonna pass that joint to the left.
Is it still Snoop Dogg or is it Snoop Lion or do you go back to Snoop Dogg? I don't even know.
Snoop Lion. Oh, dude. Okay, on this article, you scroll down a little more, you got a fuller guest list.
Oh, hit me with it.
Oh my gosh. I mean, people I don't even know. Hold on, let's see. I'm guessing these are like country singers that I just don't know.
Name a couple of them. I'll tell you if they are.
We got Aaron Lewis, Kevin Smith.
Okay, so Aaron Lewis, he used to be, remember the band Stained? And he's like, it's been a while.
Oh my God.
Since that's him.
No way.
Yeah, dude, Aaron Lewis, he's got a fat neck tattoo now, and he sings country music, and he talks about how you don't step on the flag with my boots. It's pretty intense. Every video, he's in a canoe with his dog in like a Montana river, just singing with his acoustic.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the rest of these people, I'm just assuming are country singers. This is what a crazy time to be alive. You know, leave it to the 420 folks to make sure this holiday doesn't go uncelebrated. You know, like what else have you been doing every single day since quarantine? Probably smoking weed. Do you need a whole holiday for it now?
Why don't they have, I'm surprised nobody's made more money off this. Like, why aren't they having celebrities meet people on Twitch? Like, you can only get, 20 people, so a screen's just you and 20, like a Zoom meeting, like where you're at work, but it's just, a famous person and you're just smoking weed with somebody. Dude. Like, why isn't that already a thing? Maybe it is. I don't know.
Yeah. Dude, that's actually not a bad idea if you're, if you're an actor or somebody
we just
famous.
That everyone.
I know. You just make a Zoom call and you can have people pay to get in and it's only 10 people. So you can all talk to your favorite actor or your singer or something.
I feel like rappers would do this before actors do.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is though, we're going live 10 minutes. DaBaby is going to be on $100 a seat. And then DaBaby is just sitting there. I love saying DaBaby. DaBaby is just sitting there smoking and you guys are just talking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know what interesting thing he would have to say, but
Oh, dude, the baby's got tons of stories, I'm sure, bro. Haven't you, dude? I mean, he's swaggy, he's clean, dude. I'm trying to think. I would pay $300 to hang out virtually with Matthew McConaughey.
For sure.
You know what? No, fuck that. I would pay $500 to sit and hang out with Matthew McConaughey for an hour. Like, I would for sure pay $500. That's what credit cards are for.
1 hour? That's
what
1
credit
hour cards are for.
Okay. I'm just saying, but if it's you and a couple people, or you could do, I'm just telling you right now, Matthew McConaughey, you want to make some money, you virtually just one person at a time for like 8 hours. That's $500 a head. That's like, I mean, you're already making a bunch, but I mean, you might as well get some extra money during this quarantine. Dude, like, come on now.
You know, make some people's lives a little happier, give them some entertainment, let them talk to their favorite actors.
I'm pretty sure Matthew McConaughey, I mean, I could be wrong. This is reckless speculation, but I'm pretty sure Matthew McConaughey teaches a class at Texas A&M.
Really? Like an acting class?
I think it's just a class. I don't really know. It doesn't seem like acting because he looks like he's in a suit and he's like sitting behind one of those old school tables and he's just like, there's an auditorium of people. Maybe he's just giving life advice. In all honesty, if he gave a life advice class, I'd pay for that too. I'd go back to college for that.
Dude, 100%. I'd want to be in that class. Let me see. I'm curious what
I'm trying
teaches.
to think of other people I'd spend money on to like just sit in a virtual room with.
Yeah, who's your top 3 that you would pay?
Paul Walker, rest in peace. I know he's dead, but I would pay some serious money to just talk to him about everything in his life. Paul Walker would be tight. Carrot Top, I would pay some hard money to be in a room with Carrot Top because I would just talk shit to him the whole time. I would just be like, you're a terrible person. You should just kill yourself at the end of this. Like, I don't even want to see you anymore.
God.
It would just be mean, hurtful things. And then afterward, I'd just Venmo him and be like, here you go. Here's your money. You
that
whore.
Was all worth it.
Probably, you know who I would pay some serious money to be, I would talk to, who's the lead singer? Tommy Lee Jones, dude. Tommy Lee Jones probably got some fucking stories.
Like the actor?
Well, the actor or the singer.
What band is he from?
The singer? He's from dude, I don't know why I'm like totally blanking right now. This is terrible.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones.
I mean, Tommy Lee?
Oh, you're right, dude. I'm totally screwing this up right now. I'm thinking of just Tommy Lee. He's from Motley Crue. I don't know why I put Jones at the end of it.
Tommy Lee Jones is a famous actor.
Yeah, he's the one who does like nowadays he's like the old sheriff in like every movie that I've ever watched. But he's in Men in Black. That's what Tommy Lee Jones is from.
Yep.
Men in Black. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking of Tommy Lee. Tommy Lee's from Motley Crue. Mm-hmm. He was the drummer with the big ass bass drum that was like the size of me.
Yeah.
That dude's got some sick stories, I bet.
Wild stories, I bet.
What about you? Anybody you'd pay money for?
Tyler, the Creator, is an interesting person.
Tyler, the Creator, would be tight. And because I think he would give you more than just music advice. I think he would give you some serious, like, because he directs stuff and he does things.
Exactly. Like, I don't even think we would talk about music. We'd probably just talk about movies. Because he wants to like direct and do interesting stuff.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a pretty creative guy. And just really interesting person.
That's funny. The most creative people, man, they're so out there. It's crazy. Just like, I mean, and to them, they're not even out there. They're just, to them, they're just like, hey, man, I'm just doing my thing.
Yeah. Oh, I'd want to have like a glass of brandy with like Ian McKellen or something. He's the actor that played Gandalf.
I didn't want to say anything and you just be like, what the, but I was going to be like, was he Gandalf? Like,
yeah.
Isn't he Sir Ian McKellen? Isn't he a knighted or, I'm pretty sure he's knighted.
I think you're right.
I'm thinking of Phil Collins.
No, I don't think Phil Collins was not knighted.
Dude, I would put some money that Phil Collins is knighted.
No. Yeah. Ian McKellen was knighted, and I think maybe Patrick Stewart was knighted. Yeah, dude.
How do you get knighted? Do they still do that? Is that still a thing?
That's a great question.
What do you have to do in your life to get knighted? Do you have to like save people on a bus in like England and then you just like now knight me? Like, I mean, what do you get from this?
Okay, first of all, the female equivalent is damehood.
That's like knighted, like a damehood.
If you're knighted and you're a
damehooded
female,
you?
it's called damehood. That's interesting.
Huh. I'm not trying to be very 2020 inappropriate, but I like the word knighted a lot more than dame. I feel like they can come up with a better word for that.
Dude, Mick Jagger was knighted. What the heck?
Dude, I'd be pissed if I was in the Rolling Stones and I was still alive and I didn't get knighted, but Mick Jagger did.
I know, what the heck?
Which one was the one that was in Pirates? That wasn't Mick Jagger, right?
Pirates of the Caribbean?
Pirates of the Caribbean.
I don't
One
remember.
of the guys, the older guy, was one of the older pirates. He was like a pirate they found in a bar. He was the guitarist. He was the guitarist in Rolling Stone.
Oh, crazy. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Let me see here. So...
But I'm saying, like, do you have to save a flock of sheep from a wolf or something? Like, how do you get knighted in 2020?
I feel like you have to, like, take a knife for the queen or something.
The queen? Well, that's the thing about being knighted. It's probably like, does she just come to you and she's just like, you've done so much for our country, like, you're knighted
like,
now?
Does it have to be anything specific to Great Britain or just in the world? Because, Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen are from Great Britain, so...
I think you probably have to be born.
Yeah, maybe you have to be born there.
So I'm assuming you and me could never be knighted.
Yeah, it says, can non-British citizens be knighted? And it says, sort of. Notable non-Brits
That's
are
a horrible
only
answer.
eligible for honorary knighthood. Okay, so like Mick Jagger, I think.
I thought Mick Jagger was British.
Oh, is he? I don't.
He looks British
that's
to me.
possible.
I don't know. Maybe I'm terrible at reading people, so I don't know.
Okay, so Bill Gates, Steven Spielberg, and Bono all received honorary knighthoods.
Bono.
What the heck? What makes
I love
Bono
that
get
Bono.
knighted?
Dude, Bono's done so, like, honestly, you think of Bono as U2, but I'm pretty sure Bono like has like 1,000 charities. I'm pretty sure Bono is like one of the most giving people in the world.
You know what?
Just how Bono.
I bet that's what it is, like charities, because Bill Gates is one of the most generous people ever. I think he gives away, at least right now, he gives away something like 70% of his wealth, like his income. Because he's so wealthy and he makes so much money, he literally gives away, over half to charities.
I know when I say Bono's charities, most people are just being like, yeah, he just gave me a shitty free album on iTunes once. I don't want that. No,
yeah, that doesn't count as charity,
Bono. I was going to give people money, but I've decided to give every Apple user my album.
Yeah, that doesn't count, dude. You actually have to want the charity. Okay, so it says you have to make substantial service and or cultural contribution to the British realm.
I love the word realm.
I know. So I feel like it's somewhat nebulous, so they can just decide like, oh, this person's great, we should knight them.
So if I took an arrow for the queen in 2020, you think I'd get knighted?
Probably not.
That's whatever.
I feel like if you save the country from like a pandemic or like...
I ain't God.
I know, dude.
How am I supposed to save the country? So there's a chance that we could get knighted. So if Quit Your Bitchin' podcast becomes mega, mega huge in Britain and England, we can get knighted.
I say we at least petition to get knighted.
My laughter can bring joy to the entire country.
Do you think there's like a secret society of knighted people?
Isn't that just the movie The Kingsman?
No, none of those guys are knighted. But like a secret society where, I don't know, everybody has connections and maybe they sacrifice goats every once in a while, but like mostly they just do favors for each other. You know? You think that's possible?
Yeah, that's for sure real. I'm sure if James Bond was real, he'd be knighted.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, this guy that I started following owns a bison farm. I'm telling you, bison might be the coolest animal to have as a farm animal.
100%. What do you do with
He
bison?
make jerky.
So you don't even like use them for labor or something, or like, I don't know, ride
No, it's
them?
pure. I've never seen someone ride a bison.
That's because they don't have the proper bison saddle.
I'm just picturing a Well, dude, that's weird. Why don't people ride bison like they ride horses?
Are they just less tameable? Or maybe they're not as fast. But I feel like a charging bison could go fast.
Why can't we tame more animals with saddles?
Well, you don't tame them with a saddle. You tame them and then you put a saddle
I know.
on them.
But you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
why can't we get more animals to be tamed enough to put saddles on them? Why is it just horses?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Like, it'd be super intimidating if you rode in on bisons into war. Like, back in the day. Like, why? I'm surprised. Do you think of Native Americans, they for sure tried, obviously. But,
Yeah.
like, why aren't like more people trying to do this? I don't understand. I mean, bisons can obviously carry somebody. Like we ride camels. Mm-hmm. Why don't we ride? I'm trying to think of more animals that we ride. We ride elephants. They have saddles. Well, they just more have they just put like a carpet over them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because they're just so big
But-
and they're not really fast. But
I mean, we ride bulls for sport. But I can't think of anyone riding a bull for like, I'm going to town, let me get on my bull real quick.
yeah. You think any Canadians ride caribou?
Is a caribou it's a reindeer, right?
No, it's like a big moose cousin.
But it's not an elk.
No.
It's different than an elk.
Yeah.
Elks are huge. Have you ever seen an elk in real life?
They're big, man.
Dude, why don't people ride moose?
That's literally what I'm saying with the caribou.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Why aren't more people? That's weird. Maybe in Canada. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I feel like because they're huge.
Yeah. Oh no, they're massive.
You hit
That's-
one with your car, it breaks your car.
Oh yeah, I used to watch a show called Alaskan State Troopers, and all they did was go to wrecks that like moose got hit by cars.
Yeah.
That's like it.
I'm
You know, it'd be intense. A hippo.
Dude, I feel like people have thought about it, and then they try once, and then they're dead.
They try once and then they're dead. That'd be crazy. Like that'd be crazy if you were able to train like a big cat, like you had a saddle for a big cat.
I feel like though the main thing is like, can their backs support a human? You know?
Oh, I feel like a grizzly bear could.
I was literally just about to say, what do you think about a bear?
It couldn't be a panda. Those are too majestic.
Yeah. Do you think if you raised a bear from a cub and it knew you from a cub, do you think it would still try and eat you when it's older just based off of instinct? Or do you think maybe you could befriend it and ride it?
I think it's 50-50, honestly. I think I've seen, I mean, maybe it's the internet that gets me, but I feel like I've seen articles where people have raised a bear cub and then it just like sleeps in their living room. And then like, they're just like best friends with like this grizzly bear that's obviously been domesticated and would probably die in the wild because it has no idea how to hunt. You know what I mean?
Crazy, man.
I would try to ride. I mean, obviously, I think that like a bear could for sure, you could ride a bear. It wouldn't even feel you on it.
no. Those things are huge, man, and muscular and dense bones.
But a bison, dude, maybe it's because their backs are too ridgy.
Huh.
But when I look at a bison, man, I mean, so when you come to a bison farm, you're getting the jerky, obviously. But I mean, you could probably use the pelts to make blankets, things like that, road-sized trinkets. I'm sure the horns are used for something.
Yeah, I'm sure you can make, coats out of its hide.
That's a very niche market, though.
Yeah.
Buffalo.
For sure, yeah. PETA would be on your ass. Dude, these things are big, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you could fit 2 people on a bison for sure, and you'd be fine. I don't understand why you can't ride more bison. Bisons are huge, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would do. I would just have an entire working farm where they just use bison to pull everything. You'd ride them around. You go into town on your bison. I mean, I'd bring back the bison.
It's the way to do it. How smart do you think they are?
I think that's where it comes into play. And that's the thing where people say deers are really stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like we don't really know how. Because I mean, when if I'm walking at night and a light shines towards me from a car, I kind of stop and stare at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it freaks you out.
So I don't know. That's where they come in, and they're kind of like, people say cows are kind of stupid. People say, you know what I mean? Like, obviously they're not chimpanzee or dolphin status, but I'm assuming you could train it to do anything. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like that's the benefit to horses, is horses are pretty smart, or at least decently smart.
I think horses are pretty smart. I believe most animals are smart. I think for some reason, I think crocodiles are like the smartest animal, and we just don't know it.
Elephants are pretty smart.
And then I think about sharks. I don't know if sharks are very smart, but I think that but not dolphin smart or orca smart. You know what I mean? But always just end up talking about orcas every time I get on a radio show, podcast, or anything. I just bring up dolphins and orcas. That's like all I know how to do.
It's the clutch.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening to another episode of Quit Your Bitchin' Podcast. We really appreciate it. We're going to talk about a few things that we are on platform-wise. Nick, you want to go ahead and give them the rundown?
Yeah. So, guys, you can find us pretty much anywhere you listen to podcasts, on Apple Podcast, on Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and we're on YouTube as well. So any place you like to get your media, your podcasts, we are there for your listening enjoyment.
So thank you, guys. Thank you for checking us out. Like and subscribe if you want, but that really helps us out every single time you do. So thanks, guys. We'll see you on another episode of Quit Your Bitchin'.